My name's Natalie Corey. I'm a sophomore in college majoring in studio arts. I also have an interest to minor in art history. My topic today is about Arthurian art and the Pre-Raphaelite art movement. I felt like this would be the easiest and most interesting topic for me to research, write, and talk about, and it would be a great way to practice for art history courses that I'll take in the future for my major. Now let's get started. The Pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood, or the Pre-Raphaelites, which was founded in 1848, was a group of 7 rebellious young artists who lived in London, England. These members included William Hunt, John Milles, Dante Rossetti, William Rossetti, James Collinson, Frederick Stevens, and Thomas Woolner. Their principles were later taken up by many other artists, such as Arthur Hughes, John Waterhouse, Ford Brown, and Marie Stillman. The Pre-Raphaelites created a secret society aimed to create a new form of British art. With almost all of the members attending the Royal Academy of Art, they created a resistance against the advocacy for the modern or popular genres of art in their time, since they thought this corrupted the influence of art taught academically. The name Pre-Raphaelite suggested their preference for the late medieval and early Renaissance art that came before Raphael, a famous Renaissance painter. They felt that art took a wrong turn after the Italian Renaissance and wanted to go back to the style of art before that. In their artworks, they included flattened perspective, sharp outlines, bright colors, paid close attention to achieve the maximum amount of realism, and created complex compositions. They wanted their art to be as similar to the real world as possible. The themes of their paintings were usually religious, but they would use subjects from poetry and literature, which usually had to do with love and death. They also explored modern social problems. And they liked to paint women. Why were Arthurian legends a popular topic to paint for Pre-Raphaelites?
They, partly because of their time and place, that in Victorian England there had already been a long interest, especially by 1850 it was very well established, this really strong popularity of all kinds of medieval topics. So they don't just paint Arthurian legends, but they paint all kinds of legends and all kinds of medieval or Renaissance kind of everyday life things too. But King Arthur stuff fits right in the middle of that.
My first example of Arthurian art in the Pre-Raphaelite art movement is called Sir Galahad by Arthur Hughes, made in 1870. This specific piece of artwork was an oil painting on canvas, and it was inspired by the Arthurian legends of the Holy Grail and Sir Galahad. Like many other Pre-Raphaelite artists that created artwork about Arthurian legends, he was inspired by a poem created by Alfred Tennyson titled Sir Galahad. The poem reads, "O just and faithful knight of God, ride on, the prize is near. So pass I hostel, hall, and grange, by bridge and ford, by park and pale. All armed, I ride, weathered, betide, until I find the Holy Grail." In the legend of the Holy Grail, Sir Galahad, who is the illegitimate son of Sir Lancelot and Elaine, is one of King Arthur's purest and bravest knights of his Round Table. King Arthur sets all of his knights out on a quest to find the Holy Grail. After many adventures, Sir Galahad, Sir Bors, and Sir Percival are the achievers of the Holy Grail. This painting depicts Sir Galahad wearing knight's armor, riding a horse, holding a jousting lance. Galahad looks like he's about to cross a stony bridge, and 2 illuminating angels fly above him. The first 2 lines of the poem are quotes of the angels speaking to Galahad, telling him the Holy Grail is near. My next example of Arthurian art in the Pre-Raphaelite art era is an oil painting called I Am Half Sick of Shadows, Said the Lady of Shalott by John William Waterhouse, created in 1915. Waterhouse made multiple paintings on the poem The Lady of Shalott by Alfred Tennyson. This being the third painting based from the poem, this scene depicts the fourth verse in the second part of the poem. The poem reads, "But in her web she still delights to weave the mirror's magic sights, for often through the silent nights a funeral with plumes and lights, and music came from Camelot. Or when the moon was overhead, came two young lovers lately wed. I am half sick of shadows," said the Lady of Shalott. As you can see, the title of the painting is the last two lines in the verse. The legend of the Lady of Shalott is about a young woman who is imprisoned in a tower close to Camelot, unable to look at the outside world unless it's through a mirror. Waterhouse's picture shows the Lady of Shalott wearing a bright red dress while she's resting from weaving. She gets her inspiration for weaving tapestries from the views of the world outside by only being able to look through the reflections in a circular mirror behind her. Like the Lady of Shalott, the audience of the painting can only see the outside world through the reflection of the mirror. In the mirror, it shows a bridge that goes over a river and leads to Camelot. Also in the mirror is a man and a woman, which is referenced in the line, "Two young lovers lately wed." In conclusion, there is many paintings in the Pre-Raphaelite era depicting different Arthurian legends. This is because of their popularity in England in this time period, as well as the Pre-Raphaelites' interest in creating art based on poetry, literature, and legends.